We often talk about love as if it's a mysterious lightning bolt that either hits you or it doesn't. We spend our lives waiting for it, chasing it, and then wondering what went wrong when the initial spark begins to fade. But the truth is that love isn't just a feeling that happens to you. It is a collaborative environment that you build and maintain. If you've ever felt like a relationship was perfect on paper, but you still felt empty inside, it's usually because the underlying structure was missing a few key ingredients. We need to stop thinking of love as the starting point and start seeing it as the result of specific, intentional practices. To build a bond that actually thrives, there are 6 essential elements that must be present. The first and most non-negotiable ingredient is safety. This goes far beyond physical security. It is about emotional and psychological safety. In a truly loving relationship, you need to know, deep in your bones, that your partner is not your enemy. When we don't feel safe, when we're constantly bracing for a critique, a sarcastic jab, or emotional withdrawal, our brains stay in a constant state of fight or flight. It is biologically impossible to experience true intimacy while your nervous system is screaming at you to protect yourself. Safety means creating a sanctuary where you can be imperfect, where you can fail, and where you can express a need without the fear of being shamed or abandoned. Without this foundation, no other part of the relationship can truly take root. Once that safety is established, we need the second ingredient, awareness. Most of us enter relationships with autopilot settings. We carry patterns we learned in childhood, triggers from past heartbreaks, and defense mechanisms we don't even realize we're using. Awareness is the practice of waking up to these internal scripts. It's about noticing when you're starting to shut down, or when your partner is making a subtle bid for your attention. It involves being mindful of the dance between the two of you. When you have awareness, you stop reacting blindly and start responding intentionally. You begin to see that your partner's anger might actually be a mask for their fear, and you realize that your own silence might be a way you try to maintain control. But awareness alone isn't enough to change a relationship. You also need the third ingredient, courage. In the context of love, courage is usually synonymous with vulnerability. It is the willingness to say the hard thing, to admit when you've messed up, and to ask for what you need even when you feel needy or exposed. True courage is showing up as your full, messy self, rather than the polished version you think your partner wants to see. It's about staying in the room during a difficult conversation instead of walking away or lashing out to deflect the pain. Every time you choose to be brave and transparent, you build a bridge that allows for deeper connection. You are essentially saying, "Here is the real me. I'm taking the risk that you'll still want to stay." While we often focus on how we treat our partners, the fourth essential ingredient is how we treat ourselves, self-kindness. It is incredibly difficult, if not impossible, to sustain a healthy relationship if you are constantly at war with yourself. If you are your own harshest critic, you will inevitably project that judgment onto your partner. You will look for flaws in them to mirror the flaws you hate in yourself. Self-kindness is about learning to regulate your own emotions and forgive your own mistakes. When you are compassionate toward your own humanity, you naturally become more patient with your partners. You stop looking to them to fill a void of self-worth that only you can fill. Ultimately, the ceiling of your relationship's health is determined by the floor of your own self-respect. As relationships move past the honeymoon phase, they often become heavy with the gravity of life, bills, career stress, and endless obligations. This is why the fifth ingredient, play, is so vital. Play is the oxygen of a long-term bond. It is the inside jokes, the shared laughter, and the ability to be silly together despite the pressures of the world. Humor breaks the tension of conflict and reminds you why you liked each other in the first place. When we stop playing, the relationship becomes a series of cold transactions and negotiations. We need that sense of vitality and spontaneity to keep the connection from becoming stagnant. Play isn't a distraction from the real work of a relationship. It is the very work that keeps the bond resilient and alive. Finally, we have the ingredient of intentional presence and exclusivity. In a world of infinite digital distractions, the most valuable thing you can give someone is your undivided attention. This goes beyond just being in the same room. It's about making the choice to be exclusive with your focus. It's the decision to put down the phone, look your partner in the eye, and truly hear what they are saying. It's about making your partner feel that they are specific and special to you, rather than just another person in your orbit. When we go through the motions of a routine, we lose the spark of specificity. Commitment is not a one-time promise. It is a daily practice of showing up with your word, your actions, and your full presence. When you bring these 6 ingredients together, safety, awareness, courage, self-kindness, play, and presence, you create an environment where love doesn't just survive, it thrives. Love is a living thing that requires constant tending. It's not about finding the perfect person, but about building a perfect practice with an imperfect person. If things feel off in your life right now, take a moment to look at these 6 areas. Usually, you'll find that 1 or 2 of them have been neglected. The good news is that these are all skills you can improve starting today. You don't have to wait for a feeling to return. You can start practicing the habits that bring that feeling back to life. Relationships are messy, and they are hard work. But when you have the right blueprint, that work becomes the most rewarding journey of your life.